in a Zoom call together.
When we officially heard the news that the show would be virtual,
it was quite sad.
This meeting is being recorded.
Do you have a problem? Do you need someone to talk to? Can you relate to these 8 strangers studying together from all over the world?
Honestly, as most of the cast members, I was frustrated. I really wanted to go to New York and experience the full musical theater and New York experience, but I had to step back for a second. I had to sigh, take a deep breath, and then I went like, this is God's plan.
My reaction essentially wasn't of like, how could you do this kind of thing. It was clear that it was eventually like, it wasn't unexpected.
Sri and I, we both did the show in 2018, so we kind of know what the whole, the actual process of going to NYC and sharing an in-person rehearsal space with your beautifully talented cast members is like. And something was certainly lost.
honestly, I was devastated. The opportunity to, create the show in New York, in Tisch, it was one of the highlights of my freshman year. And then to realize that I wouldn't be able to get the full experience, it was heartbreaking.
So I was at home in the US and I was like, well, I don't want to go to New York because New York was crazy and scary at the time. There was a huge outbreak of coronavirus. This was in the middle of April that we found out. But I was also like, well, how am I going to get to Abu Dhabi right now? Because that wasn't really a thing that was happening then either. So when we found out that it was going to be virtual, I was actually really relieved and felt a lot safer.
Process was pretty much iterative. There was obviously a huge team with a lot of effort put into it. There was obviously the director, assistant director, people on music, people on movement, stage managing. We were as huge of a team, if not bigger, as we do in this like physical version of RealAD, right?
I was at my sister's place in Sharjah, so I couldn't go back home, but I was with her. And so a lot of the sketches she filmed, so her work is literally in the show, and it was the first time that theater, like my academic training in theater, collided with home spaces.
We were all learning together. We were all trying to do something together. As I mentioned earlier, it's not like we know what we're doing and we're just gonna go for it. We were all trying these Zoom features. We were all trying how to position your camera, or how to stand in this angle, or how to reduce the noise on Zoom, or how to record on Zoom. The simplest things we were trying together, the creative team and the cast.
I mean, I've never really met some of these people in person before, but the bond that was created between all of us in these past 3-4 months is indescribable.
Did these this was kind of a way for us to get to know each other as a cast, but we did these interviews where we kind of asked each other stuff about how our summer was going or how our quarantine was going, and we all ended up kind of doing them as joke interviews where we were kind of in a character that was sort of us, but an exaggerated, very silly version of us, and I think that was really fun.
And we were able to have open conversations about things that have come up, things that have been bothering us, things about NYuad that we wanted to talk about, that we wanted to also work on, and invite others to see.
As a very excited and incredibly impressionable freshman who had no idea what university life had in store for her, I remember feeling a whole truckload of emotions, crying a lot, laughing a lot, and getting the inside jokes of the show a bit later than everyone else. But I remember just being, leaving the Red Theater in awe of what I just witnessed. And I remember being so incredibly eager and curious on how I could join RealAD or even at least participate in creating the show.
When you say RealAD, I go NYU Abu Dhabi, creative team, cast, students, freshmen, lots of people, lots of things, lots of memories.
If you're auditioning next year, just audition and just be honest and say what you think the show asks for, or the audition asks for. And this is cliched, but really have fun, really be honest. I think that's what the show is about.
I would say don't audition for RealAD just because you want to spend the summer in New York. Spending the summer in New York sounds fantastic, but if we had only auditioned because we wanted that, I think that this whole remote process would have been a lot less exciting and turned out a lot less, I guess, compelling.
The video really made me feel more confident in approaching college. The jump between high school and university has been big. The demands, with the change in the demands that are being asked of you and the workload. But what the video did was that it identified the problems that we college students are facing, like Zoom fatigue, different time zones, meeting so many different people, trying to write the essay even though you really can't, but you really want to, but the words just aren't coming,
I think I did gain some confidence after watching the RealAD show, because initially we all have the same fear of making friends, and considering the current situation where it's online, you have this thought in your head that will I be able to find someone who has the same vibe as me? Because obviously making friends in person is completely different from making friends online.